thanks for joining us. The University of North Carolina School of the Arts is orchestrating its season opening concert for Saturday at Centenary United Methodist Church here in Winston-Salem.
And here to conduct us through what to expect is music director of the UNCSA Symphony Orchestra, Robert Franz. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me this morning.
Of course, beautiful backdrop there, Robert. If you could first tell us about the concert's theme.
So the theme of the concert is really exploring how composers, those who write the music, sort of capture and encapsulate the spirit of the people that they represent and that they come from. And so the biggest piece on the program is the Symphony No. 8 by Antonín Dvořák. Antonín Dvořák was a Bohemian composer, now known as the Czech Republic. And he wrote a piece that really captures the folk spirit and the passion and the love and really the romance of the people of Bohemia. And, you know, it was really interesting. Before he wrote this symphony and he started composing, the music that he loved to listen to was really sort of spent mostly like as folk music, as something you might hear like on the street or, you know, in a bar. And he sort of took and he elevated it and created these pieces for full orchestra. And by the way, there will be 86 students from the North Carolina School of the Arts performing on Saturday night right here behind me in this incredible, majestic symphony of Dvořák.
Wow, oh, that's a big group too.
kidding.
That's amazing.
Spectacular.
If you could talk about the pieces specifically and how it ties back to your theme, Robert.
Sure. So that's the symphony. That's the second half. The first half includes two works. The first is a piece called Spirit by Jennifer Higdon, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning composer. She's an amazing musician, amazing person. And she wrote this piece for brass and percussion only that really sort of captures sort of this idea of the spirit, of the soaring spirit, which seemed to me to be perfect for a space like Centenary Methodist. And then the second piece on the program is by the great American composer Duke Ellington. And in 1943, his jazz band and his jazz music had the opportunity to be heard on a stage at Carnegie Hall in New York. And for that, he wrote this special piece called Black, Brown, and Beige, which in music depicted the sort of story of African Americans in America, their history of African Americans in history. And so this piece really does sort of represent so many different aspects of that African American spirit and experience through the years. So there'll be even more than 86 up here for that piece. That piece is huge and is really like a big jazz band and orchestra kind of merged together.
Wow, I bet that's going to be such a fantastic experience.
Yes.
Of course, in such a grand and beautiful place. You know, we know this concert this weekend will be at Centenary. How does performing in a place like this really kind of add to and impact you know, the musicians and the audience and it just change the whole experience of it all?
I have to tell you that when you're in a space like this incredible church that I'm standing in right now, Centenary, where we're performing this weekend, the first thing that hits you as a musician is the acoustic. When you make a sound and you can hear that sound reverbing through the room and sort of bouncing back at you, that's something extraordinary. But then when you sort of soak up the ambiance of the room and the sound and the feel of the space and the spirituality of the space, all of a sudden it's really easy, I think, to go to that next level of not only understanding, but really connecting with the artists and the composers who wrote the piece. And so I really think this is a really great opportunity to experience this music in a really special way. And then, as I mentioned, this is not a small orchestra, 86 students playing. The sound in this room will absolutely envelop the audience. You will feel the vibrations of the sound. It's that extraordinary and that sort of connected. And I think music has a way of connecting people like that. And so it sort of brings us together to experience this together and have this non-verbal, but really spiritual and really spectacular experience together.
I love the way you're explaining this, Robert.
Oh, he's nailing it.
I know.
He's nailing it. That's what music's all about.
Absolutely. I imagine it to be a very emotional experience too when you know, are there live
experiencing
in the
all of
moment.
that.
Yeah.
Hey.
We do.
It's doubly emotional for me because I'm actually an alum of the University of North Carolina School of the Arts. I actually performed in this orchestra a few years ago as an oboe. I learned how to conduct at the North Carolina School of the Arts. I've gone out. I've had a career across the United States and in Canada, where I currently reside and currently work. And now to be able to come back and to teach these students and to be able to help them develop and have these experiences. So one of the exciting things about this weekend is for these students, these pieces of music, it's the first time they perform them ever. And when you have your first experience, not only hearing it, but performing that music, it's something really extraordinary. And I feel really honored, honestly, to be able to share that experience with them for the first time, because you can see the light bulbs going off.
I can only imagine.
That's a beautiful full circle moment for you, Robert, too. We really appreciate you joining us here this morning, and best of luck, right?
Yes, it's going to be such a great concert. And a reminder for the folks out there, it is Saturday, September 14th at 7:30 p.m. at Centenary United Methodist Church here in Winston-Salem.